Hello and welcome back. I am Emerald Mosaic, and today I'm starting a little something new. I have these cards. These are called Messages from the Guides. I can provide a link to where I got them. I got these, I think, on Amazon. It's a 44 card deck. They all have very simple messages. You could call them messages from the guides. You could call them messages from your intuition. You can think of them however you like. Let me just say up front, you do not have to believe in anything supernatural for these cards to be helpful to you. So I'm going to go through these cards one by one in this series. And so this is going to be like a messages series. I'm going to go through each card. I'm going to read, there's a little booklet that explains what each card means. I'm going to read what each card means, what it says in the book. This is by James Van Praagh. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not going to try because I would butcher it. So I'm going to be nice to Mr. James and not try to pronounce his last name. Anyway, I'm going to read what he says about it. And here comes my cat. Hi, little girl. She's got to get in on the action. Okay, let me do this. Hi. I'm going to read what he has to say about it, and then I'm going to give you my personal take on it. Okay? Because we each have our own views, we each have our own takes on things, and that is okay. You do not have to believe exactly what somebody tells you to believe. You can tweak it to what works for you. In fact, there's one of the cards in here that even says that. So that's the beauty of these. So the very first card, I'm going to go through these alphabetically because that's how they are in the book. Very first card is Abundance is Your Right. Abundance is your right. So let's see what Mr. James has to say about this card. While the awareness of your higher self is focused on this physical dimension, it's only natural to believe in the concept of limitations. But your soul is limitless in its ability to give out and receive energy. You just have to accept that you are capable and worthy. The universe will give you anything that you desire, but it's not a one-way street, it's a loop. And by the way, I think this is the key part right here. The energy of abundance must flow. So as it comes to you, you must be willing to send it out. All you desire can be yours if you accept that this energy does not end with you. It is your right to be the receptacle of boundless love, happiness, health, and prosperity, but you must receive these gifts with the intention of keeping the flow of abundance alive. Come here, little girl. Oh, there you go. There you go. She just has to get in the action. If your intention is to have the abundance stop with you, then you are actually blocking the energy from coming to you in the first place. If you fall into the mindset of limitation, you are saying to the universe that you are not worthy to receive. Nothing is further from the truth. This is your ego talking. The universe always says yes. It is the ego that says no. You can be the beneficiary of any and all gifts if you accept that this is possible. Excuse me, little girl. She can't figure out what she wants. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the mindset of abundance versus scarcity. And just, Minx, are you going to get comfortable? You going to curl up and get comfy? This is not about financial wealth. Okay, let me just put that out there. Or at least it's not just about financial wealth. That can be one part of it, but abundance applies to so many other areas of your life other than financial wealth, okay? And that is super important when you're thinking about a mindset of abundance versus a mindset of scarcity. So I will also give you a caveat that this is much easier in a wealthy country such as the US, where I'm from. it is more challenging to to have a mindset of abundance when you're living in poverty. If you're in if your country is experiencing war, or if your whatever group you belong to is being oppressed. So that said, with those caveats in mind, let's talk a little bit about how you can reframe things from a scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance. Just see the possibilities that are out there. So let's think about beauty. I heard I think she's an actress, talking about this. She has a YouTube channel, and one of the things that she talked about is that on TV, in modeling, just anywhere that people are going to be before the camera, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of comparison of who's more beautiful, who's thinner, who's more attractive, and the part of the problem with this mindset is that if you are focused on comparing yourself to other people, comparison is just I forget what the saying is, but comparison really kills your appreciation of what you actually do have. And so I used to think that I was not beautiful, that I was pretty, but not beautiful. And if you look at my nose, a lot of people don't have a nose like that. I have this bump here. It's a family trait. I've never wanted to change it. In fact, one time I had to have nasal surgery for a deviated septum. And the surgeon asked me beforehand, would you like me to shave that down? I was like, no, that's a family trait. Why would I want to get rid of a family trait? So I at least appreciated the fact that it was unique, that this was part of what made me myself. And I didn't want to change that. But I didn't really appreciate how beautiful I was. It's kind of funny. Year or so ago, I was looking through very old photos of back in my 20s. I'm 48 now. And I was looking at photos for, more than 20 years ago. And I was like, holy cow, I was gorgeous. I was drop dead gorgeous, and I didn't even know it. And a lot of that really just had to do with the fact that I didn't get dates very often. I didn't have people, telling me how attractive I was. And so I didn't really see it in myself. I was comparing myself to all the other people who were just, flashy and, shiny, and who wore makeup. I don't wear makeup. Who did their nails. I don't do my nails. I just keep them trimmed. I don't do a lot of the girly girl stuff. I might wear, I got a nice little scrunchie on today, but I mean, I don't do all the girly girl things. And so because I was comparing myself to all these women who did the girly girl things, that I didn't see my attractiveness. And because of that, it felt like beauty was scarce. And I was stuck in a scarcity mindset. Now I've gotten to realize I'm beautiful. I have put on weight and I've been losing, but the whole goal has nothing to do with beauty. It's about being healthy. I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to be more active so I can be kinder to my body. Just trying to love the skin I'm in. But I'm able to see how attractive I actually am. Once you see your own attractiveness, that gives you a confidence that draws people in. And whether or not it gives you the partner you're looking for, or whether or not it brings you the friend group or whatever that you're looking for, regardless, it will still bring people to you because of the confidence, because of how you carry yourself. When you see your positive traits and you focus on them and try to enhance them, at least some, or work with them, then people notice that. And that gives you, hey, don't knock my camera over. She has to get in on the action. It will give you an attitude that really will carry you through. means curl up and get comfy. Just curl up and get comfy. So the next aspect I want to talk about is love. So if you have a scarcity mindset and you're single and you're looking for a partner, you will probably take the very first person who comes your way and seems interested in you. This is usually not a good thing. That very first person is unlikely to be the person you're looking for. I say that because a lot of the people who are out there looking are looking for someone to take advantage of, unfortunately. And so if you just go with the first person who pays you attention, they're probably going to be love bombing you. Guess what? That's a sign of a narcissist. And so just you might have somebody paying attention to you, seeming like they're really attracted to you, seeming like they're, you know, all the good things. But if you have a scarcity mindset, you're going to be ignoring red flags. You won't even notice the red flags. You'll have on rose-colored glasses, and guess what? When you're wearing rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. So it's important to have an abundance mindset, that there is somebody out there who is a quality person who is worth waiting for. And you don't have to just take any Joe Schmo who comes your way. You don't have to take the first person who gives you any kind of attention. You can actually wait for a quality person because they are out there and it's worth waiting for. And so again, that abundance mindset is what shifts the, you know, you're not so desperate anymore because you're like, no, I'm worth it. I know that there's somebody out there who's going to be good for me, who I can be good for. And because it's not a scarcity thing, I'm willing to wait. So, which by the way, is why I've been single for 4 years now. I'm content to wait. I'm going to wait for the right person. I'm not just going to take anybody. They have to be worthy. And I have to be good for them too. It has to be a good fit on both sides. So I'm going to wait until I find the right person for me. Another area is work. For those of you who are able to work and are looking for work, I will say this is a challenging one because sometimes there just aren't enough jobs. So this can be tricky. But I think the key here for having an abundance mindset when it comes to jobs, the key is, first of all, not just using traditional ways to look for work, using your networking skills, such as, they call them weak links. Like your strong links are your close friends. These are the people that you can rely on, people that you're close to, that you can tell things to. But your weak links are like your neighbors that you just say hi to. You know, the checkout person at the little drugstore where you usually buy your coffee, or, you know, stuff like that. The barista at the Starbucks. It's people that you see on a regular basis that you can say, hey, by the way, I'm looking for a job. These are my talents. These are my skills. If you hear of something, here's my information. Would you please let me know? Or, you know, you don't even have to give them the contact information. Just if you notice any jobs that you think I would be good for, let me know. By the way, this can also work when trying to look for love. You can just tap those weak links. Look in the unlikely places. Network creatively. Also, don't settle for a miserable job. If you are stuck in a miserable job, the thing to do, start looking, but also start thinking about what skills are you not using for that you might be able to pull a job out of. Just because you didn't go to school for it, that doesn't mean you don't have a talent that's untapped. So how can you look at things differently? How can you, okay, so yeah, maybe I went to school for this thing and that's what my career should be in. But if I'm not finding a job in that field, maybe I need to switch fields. Is it possible to go back to school? Is it possible to just, take a talent that you haven't really used and find a way to make a job out of it? For some people, it's YouTube videos. Me personally, I'm not going to get monetized. I don't want to. But for some people, that's their new job, is on YouTube. So, and there are other places, Substack, and, you know, there's a lot of places where you can actually earn money by putting content online. So, you know, if you limit yourself with a scarcity mindset that this is the only way to do things, then you're eliminating the possibility of changing anything. And that's where this comes in. Abundance is your right. You have the right to look for other opportunities, look for other ways of doing things. And so if you're stuck in misery, ask yourself, what mindset, you know, in what way am I limiting myself? Yeah, other people put limitations on you. I get it. That happens. Sometimes we can't change our circumstances, but sometimes we can. And it's really important to really hunt for those possibilities and say, what can I do? What do I have control over? And let go of the things that you don't have control over, but hunt for those things that you do, because we always have a lot more control than we think that we do. So abundance is really about seeing possibilities instead of the obstacles. It's getting creative. It's thinking outside the box. It's also giving back. It's sharing. It's, you know, in what way am I holding on to things? You know, that part where the little booklet talked about energy needs to flow. So maybe another question to ask yourself is, what am I holding on to that I need to share with other people? Because one of the things that I know is that when we are generous, we receive. For those of you who are Christians, I used to be a Christian, and I know, you know, the Bible talks about being generous, that if you freely give, you will freely receive. So that, you know, if for those of you who are Christians, that might be something to think about. What am I holding on to? What am I, you know, holding too tightly that if I let go of, that will open the door for other things to flow in? Just a quick note. I was in a friendship with somebody for over 10 years that it was kind of more of a mentorship. I was really mentoring this person. And it just got to a point where I was way too stressed out to be helpful to this person. I was stressed out because I was so concerned about their life and their choices that it was actually harmful to me at that point, because I was allowing it to be. This is my own issues. I have a tendency towards codependency. I know this. And because I know this, it's my responsibility to keep it in check. And if I'm having trouble keeping it in check with a certain person, sometimes that means that I have to leave. And it sucks, because I know that she has abandonment issues and I didn't want to trigger them. At the same time, each person's responsibility is to themselves first. If you don't take care of yourself, you cannot adequately take care of anybody else. I've been saying that for many, many years, almost 2 decades now. And so the first really big question is, well, I guess the second really big question, how can I be generous with what I already have, knowing that I will still have enough? I have noticed, I've been where I made $55K a year as a nurse. I was making good money. And I've also been homeless because I lost the ability to work. Having been through that gamut, I have seen that some of the most generous people are homeless people, people who have nothing. These are the most generous people because they know what it's like to go without. So for those of you who have not been there, I hope you never have to go through that to start being generous. I hope that you can see that there's enough. I saw a video, a short the other day, about these CEOs. One was from Costco, and I can't remember where the other one was from at the moment, but they were like, why are all these CEOs stressing out right now? We're making enough money. We don't have to raise prices. We don't need, billions of dollars to feel comfortable. We're making enough. What is there to stress about? And so, part of this is recognizing when you actually do have enough. You don't have to be rich. That comparison game really can kill your joy. And so appreciating what you do have can open the door to seeing, what, I have enough. I can give. I can be generous with what I have because I have enough. And so really sinking into this abundance mindset also leads to being more frugal. Like, I don't need a ton of things. I got these gorgeous pillows behind me at the thrift store. They're beautiful. But I didn't have to buy them new. I don't have to have new things to have beautiful things. The painting behind me was given to me. I made this little collage over here. You don't have to. Why do things have to be new to be beautiful? So it's a shift in mindset that when you see that you don't need all of the things to have enough, all of a sudden, oh, well, yeah, of course there's abundance because I have enough already. If your basic needs are met, and if you're able to meet some of those higher needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, then you have enough. You really have enough. So instead of chasing after things, instead of chasing after money, recognizing what you do have and seeking after the things that truly bring you joy, that's where the abundance is. Abundance is in the heart. Abundance is recognizing that you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't even have to, make $50K a year to have enough. The key is finding a way to be satisfied with what you do have and being generous with what you already have. That opens the door, and then more comes in. More things come in without you even seeking them out anymore because you don't need it. It's just, how can I be generous? And all of a sudden things flow into you. I have witnessed this happen many times in my life. The more generous that I am, the more things flow to me. I don't even try. It's just it's a change in perspective. So in what area of your life can you open yourself the possibility that there really is truly enough for everybody, and you don't have to hoard the things that you hold on to so tightly? You don't have to hold on to them. You can hold them loosely because there's enough. There is enough. And if you give and you are generous to other people, you will receive enough. It's when we band together, when we hold each other, that's when we experience abundance. So instead of chasing after things, you already have a lot more abundance than you think. If you just open your eyes and look around, how can you get creative about getting those needs met alongside other people, with other people, helping them and they help you, and together you're stronger, and together there's enough. So think about that. In what way can you express abundance is your right this week? I hope that's something that resonates with you. I hope that you learned a little something. I hope you're able to make a change for the better this coming week. All right, y'all think on that? Let me know in the comments what you're thinking, and let me know if there's any part of this that you don't agree with. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you did enjoy this video, please hit like. It gives me a little boost. Gives me a dopamine hit too. So anyway, y'all take care and keep working on growing, and I will see you soon.